So summertime is coming and everybody likes to be out in their yard and serve their lemonade and things like that. And we need nice trays for that, right? So we're going to grab this tray right here and we're going to make it pretty. So I'm starting off with some yellow mixing powder. This is from Debbie's Design Diary, and I mixed it with the clear liquid patina. I'm just going to brush this on the inside of the tray, and I like how it's bright yellow. It just reminds me of spring, which I can't wait for because here in Massachusetts we've had really, really cold weather and a lot of snow. So I'm really looking forward to the spring. So yellow is what I was going for. Also, I'm going to decoupage this tray, and I'm trying to use the colors that's on the paper. So when the yellow had dried, I used some of this turquoise color right here. You can use any color you want. You can use any decoupage paper that you'd like. I'm just using what I have here in my shop. So you can do this with any paper and any paint. So the paper that I chose is this like color block that's got these really spring bright colors that I love, and it is big for the tray, so we're just gonna cut it, and this is how we're gonna make it fit. I kind of just measure it by laying it over and figure out how much I need. So this pretty much works out. It's not gonna be perfect. Nothing I do ever is, and that's okay because that's how I roll. But we're going to add this on here with this Mod Podge. We're going to put that underneath the paper, which is, of course, the inside of the tray. And sometimes it's best to work in sections because if I were to spread this decoupage all over the tray and then add the paper, some parts of it will dry, and that's where you get the wrinkle because there's air bubbles. So we want to try and minimize those air bubbles and those wrinkles. A little wrinkle, that's okay. I think it gives a character, but we don't want the whole thing to be wrinkled. Okay, now that the Mod Podge is on there, we're going to add the paper on top. I had cut it previously. I'm going to try to line it up as best as we can. And while we're doing this, we're going to gently rub the top of the paper to try to get out as many wrinkles as possible. There will be some wrinkles. Like I said before, a few wrinkles are okay. So one thing that I want to say is if you see that there's some air bubbles, you can always lift the paper up a little bit like this. And you can start over, or you can lift it up halfway, and you can add some more glue if you find that there are some spots that you kind of miss with the glue, because that's really where your air bubble is going to be. But you can finagle it a little bit. Just remember that if you keep lifting up the paper over and over, it's just going to weaken the paper, and then it might tear. So you just got to try to just be a little careful with it. Once you get it on there the way you like it, you're going to just smooth it out as best you can. You can go over it again and just make sure that every single wrinkle that you want out is out. These extra pieces, because this paper was bigger than the inside of the tray, we're going to wait for the paper and the glue to dry. Well, actually, for the glue to dry. The paper's not wet. We're going to wait for the glue to dry, and then we're just going to, with the little X-Acto knife or anything like that, or a razor, we're going to trim on the end and on the edges actually, and just get rid of that extra paper that's inside the tray. So now I'm just going to add some color to the sides of the tray. I want to incorporate some of the colors that are in the color blocks on the inside of the tray, which is pinks and greens and things like that. So I added some pink. I got the sponge here, and I'm just going to kind of rub that paint in so it lightens up a little bit. But it is also mixing in with the yellow, or actually letting that yellow come through. Now, using a new brush, we are going to seal this because remember, this is paper, and if you're going to put things on it, we want to protect it. So there's a lot of things you can seal it with. You can use polyurethane, you can use wax, although I wouldn't recommend that if you're going to put wet things on here like glasses. And so the best thing that I have right here that I'm using is the very same decoupage glue. It works, it seals it, you add a couple of coats of that, and you seal the whole tray, not just the top. And that's it. Voila, this tray is done, and it's super pretty and ready for spring. Okay, so tray number 2 is pretty much going to be like tray number 1. It's just a different look, and we're using different colors. I'm going for bohemian blue with this one. I need to make sure that I cover the color underneath before I put the paper on here, and the colors are really, really bold. So this did take two to almost 3 coats to get all of that red and blue from underneath covered. Just like with the first tray, we're going to get out our Mod Podge, and we are going to put that glue on the inside of the tray, and we're going to make sure that we don't leave any spots without glue so that we don't get wrinkles and air bubbles. So now that we got the glue on there, notice I didn't get the glue on the side, but that's okay. Because this paper that I'm putting in here, it is actually smaller than the inside of the tray, and I will be able to lift the paper up off the edges to put the Mod Podge underneath. This paper here is a painting that I did a while ago. It was on a super big canvas. The painting is long gone, and I had it put on paper. So I'm going to use it here. So see, as I was saying, we're going to just add the glue on the edges. This is easier to lift up than the bigger paper from tray number 1, obviously, but the method is pretty much the same. You get the glue underneath, try to get it evenly so we don't have any air bubbles, and we're going to smooth the top as we go along. And then we're going to seal the top the same way we did with the other tray. Now the difference with this tray is that because the paper was smaller than the inside of the tray, we have to make it look like we just didn't glue paper onto the inside of this tray. So we're going to add colors to blend it all in to make it look like it's part of the paper, like it's a painting inside the tray. You can feel free to use a brush, to use your fingers, just to add paint to blend it in. Like I said, just grab colors that are in the painting and just blend it all in. Nothing to worry about. The very last thing to do is the same thing that we did with the other tray. We're going to seal this whole tray with the Mod Podge, and then it's pretty much done. Now you have 2 completely different styled trays, and yeah, super easy and fun. And you don't need a lot of products.